Let's get that set up here.
While you're setting that up, let me just say real quick, last week, we went over the top 10 of the Net Point Power Rankings. I looked at the teams. I said I liked everybody that was in there, but I felt really good about 8 of those top 10 actually making it to the playoffs. As you've illustrated, several teams have clinched playoff spots and or clinched their divisions. So as I look at the top 10 as I saw them, and I proclaimed that I thought that at least 8 of those 10 would make it and 2 might be in danger. What has happened is one of the teams that was in danger has fallen out of the top 10, and that would be the LA Rams.
Falling out. Yeah, that loss.
They've fallen out of the top 10, and Green Bay has injected themselves into the top 10.
That's that NFC, man.
And they jumped into the 10 spot that was left vacant by the New Orleans Saints, who jumped all the way to 7. So they're solidifying.
It's like musical chairs.
Yes.
Musical football chairs.
Yes. So now as I look at the top 10 as it is today, I think there's still somebody that may be in danger. Shall I name them?
Sure.
See, if I name them and I'm wrong, then I look goofy. But
well, you know,
I think the team that's
that ain't stopped
in the
you
most,
before.
I think the team that's in the most danger is Tennessee. They needed that game last week. They needed that game last week. They're in danger, and Houston is looming. They're looming where they're at 14. But I think everybody else is safe. Yeah, I think Dallas is safe. Yeah, I do.
You know, Colin Hurd.
Yes, Colin Cowherd
put forth a theory.
Okay, I like his theories. I haven't watched him. What he say?
That cold weather teams are better positioned to go deep into the playoffs than the warm weather teams.
I don't know about that.
Well,
cold weather teams have an advantage if they're at home.
Right.
That's important. Okay. Okay. A home team advantage. Yes. Home field advantage to a cold weather team is a big advantage. Yes, it is. And that's why it's so important for teams that look like they clinch division or whatever. They might lighten up. You can't, because you try to get home field throughout. And vice versa, a team like the Saints needs home field throughout because they play so much better in that dome. They don't want to go outside.
Definitely don't want to be in a place like,
to.
Well, let me think. NFC, cold weather, Minnesota.
They don't want to go to Minnesota.
In the dome.
They don't want to go to.
That's right. That's
a dome. They don't want to go to Green Bay.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They don't want to go to
Chicago. Well, you ain't got to worry about Chicago.
Don't have to worry about Chicago. So they're actually kind of sitting pretty. I mean, you don't want to have to go to the like Seattle or something. But yeah, that's not bad. They're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Weather-wise.
Yeah, weather-wise. All right, let's take a quick look at the Bias Plus report and the slate of games that are coming up. First off, the first 3 games we want to mention that we'll talk about. Looking at Houston, Tampa Bay, Buffalo, New England, and Los Angeles Rams against San Francisco. All will be played on Saturday, December 21st.
Yes, first game begins at 1 o'clock. So no more college until the bowl games start. So,
and that's the Houston-Tampa Bay game. And darn if we didn't kick this thing off with another tie.
Okay. You gonna take the loss on this again? You gonna be noble?
I'm a noble guy, man. I'm just noble because I'm like this. You can't win unless they tie. You know?
Right.
So,
but I can
win. You can. What you got?
Houston Texans fall on their faces as Jameis leads Tampa Bay to a huge victory and basically knocks the Texans out of the playoffs. He's looking at me like
interconference,
dude, that's
knockout
bold.
punch.
Bold statement number one. Yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well as the Texans defense played last week. I think they will betray Deshaun and give up just enough points. It's going to be a scoring match, and Jameis is going to win the scoring match. Neither team's going to run the ball. It's going to be a passing nightmare.
Buffalo, New England. New England has a bias plus favoring them of 10. And they are home, right?
New England is at home. It'll probably be cold.
Home.
Might be snowing. Might be freezing rain. Could be anything.
I have advanced backwards up there, don't I?
Do you?
I see New England as an away team.
I'm pretty sure they're home.
I'm pretty sure they're home. So that's not correct. But go ahead.
Okay. Bold statement number two. Buffalo wins this game. Knockdown, drag out, low scoring, slugfest, whatever you want to call it. The Buffalo Bills will go into New England. The weather won't bother them. The crowd won't bother them. In fact, I think their crowd, who's really fired up about them, because they haven't, you heard the expression, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. That's not a big trip for them. I think they'll buy up a bunch of tickets and they'll get in there and it'll be like a home game.
Well, let me say first off, as I look at this chart, the home team is away and the away team is home.
Okay, just flip them.
Just flip them. So
that's for you guys to keep in mind.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
We'll mention it as we
go along here. All right. So you're taking
bold statement number two, Buffalo Bills for the win.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Oh man.
Sure. At this point, I feel it.
And this is the thing. If Buffalo wins, what we've been talking about relative to the advent of this new mobile quarterback thing, you could look up next year and see New England with Colin Kaepernick at quarterback.
Oh, now you're going too far. You're going too far.
Bold prediction.
You're going too far.
Super Bowl prediction.
You're going too far.
Super Bowl. They said he had an elite arm. The owner been hanging out with what's his name here from Philly? What's the rapper from Philly here? Meek Mills. He's a Meek Mills guy.
Anything
because he's down like that.
Down like that.
All right. So you're going against the bias.
That is correct.
Oh man, what a guy! What a guy! What can I tell you? All right. Well, let's see. My beloved Niners will be hosting the Los Angeles Rams, and the Niners have a nice fat bias plus score of 10.4 in their favor. But let me say this about this game before you throw yours out there, right? Of course, my Niners are third in net points on average, right? However, what I noticed with the Niners is that in the last 3 games, they are actually 29th in points against.
You have 2 key people hurt on your defense.
Right. And I think Sherman's going to try to make it back for this game.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean,
they predicted 2 weeks.
And injuries have played a part.
Yeah.
D Ford was out,
right.
All of that type of stuff. But I think it really has affected us now. Again, average points against on a seasonal basis, we're 5th.
Okay.
But in the last 3 games,
yeah,
we've had that issue. So, all right, Bias Plus says Niners.
So does that mean you're worried?
I stay worried.
That's true. You do. Well, I'm not worried a bit. I think the Rams are just.
You don't believe in them Rams.
I can't
disbelief.
I can't believe in the Rams, and after seeing what the Cowboys did to them last week, that was a debacle. They really took it to them, and it was a nice, balanced attack, and they had their way with the Rams defense. And the Rams defense has not been stellar at all this year. Anyway, you know, Aaron Donald's basically been held in check. He's had some big splash plays, but for the most part, people are coming into the game saying we're double teaming this dude every chance we get, unless we're going to run away from him.
You can run at him.
Or run at, yes.
You can run at him.
Yeah.
And that's, we talked about the pass rusher, you know, as a
that's
as a
not
run
that great
defender
as a run defender.
Yeah.
Yes. So they've kind of found a formula for that as far as blocking schemes are concerned. And the Niners, being a very accomplished running team when they want to, should be able to take advantage of that. So, yeah, I'm going with the Niners.
Going with the Niners. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. So that would wrap up the Saturday slate of games. And now, you know, it's funny because when Red Zone comes on and the games get like when you have buys and stuff, so there's less games, you get to see that much more of each one of the games that's left to be played. So the Sunday matchups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games on Sunday, spread out between.
Yeah, I was going to say, of those 12, how many are in the
1 o'clock?
1 o'clock slot.
You got the little thing there.
5, 6, 7 of them.
Okay, so that's pretty good. You get to
7 games.
Jump around with 7.
That's
and then
not
you got
too bad.
4 in the 4 o'clock slot.
4 in the 4 o'clock slot, which is even better.
Yeah.
So you get to see more of each game,
more of each
as
game.
opposed to the jumping around.
We're just pumping Red Zone here, aren't we? They should send me a check. All right, Jacksonville, Atlanta. With Atlanta having a 4.6 bias plus score in their favor, you will notice that it is in red, which means that both their
teams.
net points and their turnover differential were all in the negative. So these are 2 teams, and just one team is less negative than the other.
Right. Again, Atlanta seems to jump up and beat the teams that they shouldn't, and then they, you know, kind of stink it up against the teams that they should beat, or teams that look like they would have the advantage. This is one of those games where it looks like they would have the advantage, but I'm going to go with them anyway. They're at home. They had a big win last week. I think they carry that momentum. Question is if Julio Jones is healthy, which I think he finished the game healthy. So if you got him in fantasy and they got a questionable tag on him, it's probably for maintenance, and they won't work him too hard in practice, so he'll be ready for that game.
So you're going with Atlanta?
I'm going with Atlanta.
All right. Next up, we have, I was going to call him the Superman, but that's not his thing. He ain't the Superman, is he? You know?
MVP frontrunner.
MVP frontrunner.
Like
and the largest bias plus of the weekend, Cleveland against Baltimore. Yes, Cleveland against Baltimore. Yeah. Baltimore has a bias plus of 18.8 favoring them.
Nice bias. Cleveland is at home, by the way. Won't do them any good. Baltimore comes in here and runs roughshod over these boys. First of all, they're turnover prone on offense. Second of all, on defense, I tell you the truth, I don't think they have D-backs that are fast enough to stay up with Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown doesn't catch a lot of passes, but he pretty much gets deep when he feels like it. It's just a matter of if Lamar wants to throw the ball to him. But after
another reason why I thought that my Niners could run Connell there is because he's again, that fast guy. If you can line him up one-on-one against somebody, or you can get that defense with 8 in the box trying to deal with that run game and that power run.
And that's what they're going to do.
Next thing you know.
That's what they're going to do, and everybody knows they're going to do that. And I myself said if there is a weakness for the Baltimore Ravens, it's their downfield passing game, because I wasn't impressed with their receiving core.
Threw those 3 deep passes?
To prove me
bad about
exactly. No, I didn't say it wasn't something I said bad about it. What I said is if they have a weakness, that's probably what it would be.
So you questioned it. He answered your question.
He answered my question.
He said,
weakness. And it's not so much that the receivers are playing better than I expected them to. It's just Lamar's throwing the ball really, really well. But they got their deep threat. The kid Seth Roberts, who used to play for the Raiders and was mediocre at best with the Raiders, has really been the big improvement to me. You know, Hollywood Brown's a rookie, so, you know, he's kind of expected to do what he's doing. But Seth Roberts has really come through and scored some nice touchdowns. And then they got like 3 tight ends that they can just rip you apart with down the seams, on the outside, wherever.
Let me tell you something. That big body is easier to throw to than all those little bodies.
And they can all catch, and they can all block, and they can all run after catch.
Absolutely. So you're going with the Ravens.
The Ravens.
Right. Good enough.
Big time.
New Orleans. I don't know what I got here. I got New Orleans and New Orleans. I don't know. I think I was sleepy when I put that thing together.
Back up there.
Holy mackerel.
Tennessee's at home, though, right?
Tennessee. Yeah. New Orleans is favored by 1, bias plus score of 1.5.
That's all?
That's all.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Let me look at something here real quick. So right now in the net point power rankings, New Orleans is ranked number 7. Tennessee is ranked number 9. Tennessee's been making some statements coming down here until they lost that one to the Texans last week, which I'm not quite so sure if that was an aberration or not. But I tell you what, this is a scary game for the Saints. I'm going to go with the Saints because I think right now Drew Brees is playing out of his mind. And he will not regress. He's super on fire. And Michael Thomas is unguardable. I think they said that's his Twitter handle.
Is that really?
Can't guard me, Mike, or something like that. Yeah, that's just, he cannot be touched. He just can't be touched. I'm sorry. Saints win.
So you're going with the bias on this one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, we're getting to that part of the year where teams are out of the playoffs.
Yes.
Still have games to play.
Yes.
This is like when I was looking at which of these games I would want for my intriguing game.
Okay.
Like, I'm not messing with those games because I don't know what their motivations. Some guys are going for contracts. Some guys are trying to keep from getting hurt.
Yeah, it starts to go over into personal stuff as opposed to team goals.
You know, and we didn't even talk about the fact that it was reported that OBJ was, you know, whispering to other teams, "Come get me," and then next thing you know, you hear Jarvis Landry was doing the same thing.
Did somebody say they read his lips on the sideline or something, and it looked like he said,
"Really?"
I think I heard that.
Yeah, that's the report that he was doing the same thing.
But Jarvis Landry's like, no, he loves it here. We're not. He's not going.
No, Jarvis Landry, his coach was saying that. His coach is saying.
Oh, I thought Landry said it.
Oh well, he might have. He probably did.
Yeah.
But his coach is like, "Oh, there's no problem. We love Jarvis. Jarvis is, you know," and I'm like, that's a weird place, man. Cleveland's okie doke. So
you're not paying much attention to Carolina, Indianapolis.
But Indianapolis has a bias plus score in their favor. Jacoby's going to have to do a little bit better. But right now, Carolina is just no coach. Where we going? We don't know what the future holds.
Just like I said last week, Christian McCaffrey, do your thing, but they don't have enough to win the game. I think Brissett will play a little bit better. T.Y. Hilton will be one more week healthier, and Indianapolis should be able to win that game, especially at home. Yeah, I'm going to go with Indianapolis on that. It's a shame Carolina is in super rebuild mode. They should be planning for the draft as we speak. Because
we'll talk a little bit about that draft
positions
coming up soon because the awards, the Heismans, and all of that kind of stuff coming up. So,
yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty good quarterback draft, and I'm going to have to do some research to get everybody where they're supposed to be. Put my little Mel Kiper hat on.
Mel Kiper, okay. So, again, I don't know what I was doing here. I screwed this up completely.
Well, that's okay. Miami's at home against Cincinnati.
Miami is at home against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is favored by a bias plus score of 3.1, and all numbers are in the negative realm.
Okay. I'm going to go with Miami. Just because.
Going against the bias on this
I'm
one.
going against the bias on this one because I love Miami's coach. So I'm just going to do one for him. This is for you,
take
bro.
one for the Gipper.
I'm going to take one for you. If you don't win, it's okay. No hard feelings. I just think that for a team that this is his first year there, he just got fired in Denver. He comes there. Nobody expected him to win. They're saying they're tanking for Tua from day one. And this guy is on the sideline, like screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and fussing with refs and throwing his challenge flag. And I love it.
Coaching up a storm over there.
Coaching up a storm over there.
Coaching up a storm.
It's like whatever the outcome is at the end of the season, it won't be my fault. I'm coaching. I'm trying to win. So, they trade his players away and, they're having trouble finding a viable running back now since Kenyon Drake is gone and the other guy got hurt. And it's hard, But the great thing is Fitzpatrick is with him. Like he's coming out and that old bearded dude is out there. He's balling. He leads the team in rushing.
He will run the ball.
But I mean, you're on a losing team that's going nowhere. You don't have to do that. That's what I love. Yeah. I'm taking Miami.
All right, going against the bias. Pittsburgh against the Jets, Jets, Jets. However, the Steelers have a bias plus score in their favor of 8.7 here.
That's fairly hefty since we've moved on to the average points.
Yeah, that's 8 points right there on average.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. This one should be pretty easy. Jets don't have much going for them. Pittsburgh defense is clicking. The offense is – I like their play calling considering, they've had all the injuries and stuff. Now, Connor's back. He didn't get a full complement of carries, but Hodges is getting really comfortable with Deontay Johnson and James Washington. So, and again, when he was the backup quarterback, some of them were backup receivers. So he got a chance to throw to them quite a bit. So that chemistry is starting to unfold now. Not like it's big plays that are going to blow teams out, but they're playing well together. They're playing well enough on offense to get it done.
Steelers still have some playoff option.
Do they?
I don't know.
It's low, but I think the
Ravens are in their division, so
yes,
Ravens have already clinched the division.
That's correct. It'd be tough to get the wild card out of that division, I think. We're talking AFC. We're talking Bills got a shot, and who else in the AFC's got a shot? I think that might bump them.
Yeah, Kansas City and all that. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. There you go, Ben. Your division, New York Giants at the Washington team that needs to change their name.
Giants got the bias.
The Giants have the net point bias at 2.3 net points. The Washington team had the turnover bias at 1.2.
Big deal.
But it leaves the Giants with a bias plus score in their favor of 1 average net point per game.
I'm going to go with the Giants.
Minus the turnovers because the turnovers didn't help.
I'm going to go with the Giants.
Really?
Rumor has it that Daniel Jones may be coming back for this game. I think they should leave Eli in because this is like his swan song. They gave him like standing ovation after the game last week, thinking that's going to be his last game.
I think they thought
on the field.
Let's let him go out as a winner. I don't know if they even wanted to risk him losing this game. We got 2 more games though, don't you?
Yeah, and it's on the road. So the heck with that. He won his last home game.
That's good enough, eh?
Yeah.
He can lose the last 2 games since they're not home.
But they're winnable games.
Oh, yeah, they could beat Washington. They could beat
Darn
Washington.
right. Yes, sir. And I say they will.
They could beat Washington.
Take the Giants.
And Saquon had a move that was in the highlight reel.
Yeah, that guy's still looking for his
ground.
ankles. His ankles are like.
Saquon did the thing. Somebody else had a move like that. And,
who was it? They showed it last night. It made top 10. Oh,
Yeah,
can't think
it'll
of who
come
it
to me.
was.
But was it the Jets? The Jets. Anyway, so Detroit, Denver. Denver has the bias plus score 2.2 in their favor, 2 net points plus a little bit of turnover in their favor for Denver. What do you think?
If you grab Drew Lock for fantasy, this might be the game, if you're in a jam, that you can play him. I know it's for the championship and you don't want to trust a rookie quarterback.
Really?
In a fantasy championship. But if he has another good game in him, this will be the one. Detroit's defense is a mess. It is a mess. And the game is in Denver. So you got the mile high thing going for you.
Thin air.
Probably have some bad ways. At least it's going to be cold.
At least.
If not snow and who knows what.
And Detroit's now a dome team, right?
They're a dome team, yes. And they're, like I said, their defense is a mess. It's really bad. And for whatever problems Denver has on defense, they still got a pretty good pass rush. They've racked up a good number of sacks, too. I can't remember the number, but I was kind of looking at those defensive stats the other day. They've racked up a good number of sacks this season. And they still have Philip Lindsay, and they still have the kid Sutton, who's going to be a beastly receiver. And the tight end, Noah Fant, has come into his own.
Yes.
Yes. He's the one that went to the same school with Hawkinson, right? And I touted Hawkinson above him coming out. I said, of these two, I think Hawkinson will be the better one. And guess who Hawkinson plays for? Detroit. Unfortunately, he won't be in the game. He's injured. But Fant has surpassed him as far as I'm concerned.
The numbers bear out what you're saying. Detroit's defense is ranked 26th. Denver's is ranked 10th. So that's probably the biggest, disparate situation or part of what their numbers look like. Okay, who's up next? We have the Oakland Raiders visiting the LA Chargers. The Chargers have the bias plus score of 7.6 favoring them. Chargers that I don't trust.
I don't trust them either, but I'm going to pick them to win. Something's wrong in Oakland. I think the reality of having to move away and go to Vegas and all that is kind of setting in. I know they're disappointed about losing last week. It was the last game in the black hole. I don't know if Gruden can keep them going. I think they're kind of playing out the string. Phillip Rivers doesn't want to go out like that. Phillip Rivers is going to try his best to get that win. They need a win because they just don't look good.
We were talking about the Lions defense ranked at 26.
Yes.
Raiders defense is ranked at 28th.
Right.
So that kind of tells their story right there.
Keenan Allen played well last week. Rivers played fairly well, but Keenan Allen played really well, and so did Mike Williams. When the two receivers on that team play well, and then Hunter Henry is healthy, Melvin Gordon, Eckler, it's too much for the Raiders.
Going with the Chargers?
Yes, sir.
Going with the bias. All right, here you go. This is a nominee for intriguing game.
As it should be.
Dallas at Philadelphia?
Yes.
Coming into the green hole?
The green hole? Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I did.
Good God.
I don't know. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
The green hole.
Excuse him.
And that actually might be truer than we would really want. Dallas has a bias plus score favoring number 6.3, just under a touchdown on an average per game.
Okay.
Favoring Dallas. Big win over the Rams.
Huge win over the Rams.
Wentz with the clutch. Come back on the Redskins.
You could call it clutch if you want to, okay? Some people may agree with you.
Media called it that. I'm being facetious.
Right. So you come back in the fourth quarter and you beat the Miami Dolphins, and you come back in the fourth quarter and you beat Washington. So
why are you coming back in the fourth quarter against those two teams?
You can ask that question, but then people who would defend them would say, well, look what he's working with.
That's true.
And he still got it done. So
That's true.
So he can still say that.
That
so
is true.
I'm trying to give them all the credit that I possibly can.
That is true.
Now, here we go again with the situation where one team looks like they got all the momentum and the other team's been stumbling along, except the team that's been stumbling along stumbled themselves into 2 wins. Good wins, good locker room wins, good team building wins. Psych. Take Dallas. Take Dallas. First of all, they're going to come in here. They're going to run the ball like they're supposed to. They found the formula. Not that they lost it. They just got hard-headed coaches. They're going to do what they have to do. The Eagles just do not have enough firepower. They just don't.
You're going to start running the option on them boys. They're
going to have
Lamar.
to do something.
They're going to have to do something because it was that pressure that really threw Goff off of his game as much as anything, especially once Cowboys got ahead and they had to throw the ball.
Right.
You know?
And he was throwing the ball all over the place. He was extremely erratic. And here's a guy who has great receivers across the board and was kind of known for his accuracy, but he was completely off his game. And we know Wentz can get thrown off of his game. I say Wentz gets booed out of the stadium. But Philadelphia fans aren't sold on him anyway. They're still talking about Nick Foles.
Yes. Well,
he's got a statue.
The statue's now working for the Jaguars. Remember?
I know
they signed the statue and they didn't actually sign the.
They don't care about that. They just.
All right. So you're going with Dallas.
Absolutely.
Arizona, Seattle, another division battle. 2 mobile quarterbacks. Seattle's serious about trying to get somewhere. The Cardinals are pretty much out of it. They're playing for pride.
Yeah, this is a team that's got a whole bunch to play for against a team that basically has nothing to play for. And Seattle's at home.
Black hole for you.
Cardinals.
Kyler. Not the black hole, the 12th man.
12th man.
The 12th man. But you know something? Kyler was made for this, you know?
Yeah, but again.
Can you hear that over the 12th man?
How about that? Yeah, the hand clap signal. Ooh,
yeah.
That's going to be tough. I don't know. That'll be interesting to watch. They give me a little side thing to watch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't have a chance.
All right. Where are we? Oh, we're about to finish up with the last game on Sunday. Kansas City, Chicago. Chicago is out of it. Kansas City has a bias plus favorite number of 8.3.
Chicago is at home. They've been playing better. They seem to have found a way to kind of shape the offense a little bit and structure it toward Trubisky's strengths, which is a good thing, which means that they may actually make this a game for a while. But I think eventually Kansas City blows them out of the water and they get booed off the field too.
Motivations, that's the question. Are they coming out there now that they know that they're out of it?
Right.
If they're going to play as hard as they can. All right. So Monday night, I believe this is the final Monday night game.
I believe this will be your intriguing game.
You do you? Well, it's on the nominee list, that's for sure. Since I
it's the last game and you haven't revealed. Are you not going to reveal?
You know something? I hadn't made up my mind. But
you're still thinking about it. Okay.
But let's talk about this game, and then hopefully in the next 30 seconds or so, something will click up there, and I'll actually make up my mind.
Okay, so let me look at something real fast.
Green Bay, Minnesota. Minnesota has a net point bias in their favor of 5.1. Green Bay has the turnover bias of 0.2. We're talking average turnover differential on a per game basis, or average, that's what that means. But Minnesota has the bias plus in their favor. Kirk Cousins getting it in. Dalvin Cook. Not Dalvin Cook. Is that his name?
He could be playing, yes. He may be ready. We probably won't know what's today. Today is Wednesday. So he's got tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. Saturday will just probably be a walkthrough. So Friday's practice session will be important if you're checking on him for fantasy purposes or if you happen to be a Minnesota fan. That being said, let me see if I can draw a quick analogy. Minnesota was rolling down the highway, blew a tire, pulled over, had a brand new spare in the trunk, put the spare on, and kept rolling down the highway. Green Bay's rolling down the highway, but they got like transmission trouble. Like they're rolling for a while, and then they're kind of, and then they keep rolling, and they're, you know what I mean? Maybe it's not transmission. I don't know a lot about cars. The thing is, Green Bay is not clicking, and Minnesota is. Therefore, I have to go with the Minnesota Vikings. I look at last week's power rankings. Minnesota was sitting at 5. Green Bay was not in the top 10. I look at this week's power rankings. Minnesota is now sitting at 4, and Green Bay just cracked the top 10 at number 10. The superior team is Minnesota. They will win the game.
No Aaron Magic, no AR Magic.
No.
Not putting you.
No.
Going with the bias.
Not against the Vikings in
Going
Minnesota.
with the bias.
No. Think about it. Who's the playmakers on the Green Bay offense?
Running back.
Aaron Jones.
One receiver.
Devontae Adams.
Quarterback.
That's a given.
And then it gets a little shaky.
Yeah, a lot shaky. Okay. Valdez-Scantling, who we were hoping just because I loved his name was going to be great, has done absolutely nothing but drop passes. Geronimo Allison. Geronimo! He's nothing. Graham, old.
I know. Graham is like.
Bro, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. But they've already clinched, right? They might be one and done, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I like Minnesota.
Well, they clinched the spot. That's all they've clinched.
They clinched the playoff spot.
Yeah,
They have not clinched the division. Therefore, this game, I would assume, is for the division.
Probably
right?
so.
They're only beating Minnesota by one
game
in the loss column.
Okay, so when I'm looking at intriguing games to choose from,
now you want to try to figure it out.
I was looking at
Don't stress
Buffalo,
yourself.
New England. That's one nominee.
That's my choice.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
That's your intriguing game. Okay.
Absolutely, for a number of reasons.
I was looking at New Orleans, Tennessee.
Okay.
Okay. I was looking at Dallas, Philadelphia.
Yeah, you got to kind of throw that one in there just for the local intrigue.
I was a little intrigued by the Arizona game. Just
Why?
because
Stop.
I just, it's, Kyler, he's gonna come in there and really play hard. Just
He plays hard every week.
I know. So I'm saying I just want to see what the young boy's gonna do, but they're not in the playoffs, so we want two teams that have some playoff implications.
You want both teams that have playoff implications. I understand that.
So then Green Bay, Minnesota would be the other option. So Buffalo, New England, New Orleans, Tennessee. That one's not.
Tennessee is kind of on the brink.
Yeah.
They're sitting at 9 in the power rankings. They lost a big game to the Texans.
Other than the Giants, Washington, they have the smallest bias plus of the weekend at 1.5. So that's a very, they come up very close. In the Green Bay, Minnesota game, Monday night game. All right, so Monday night game means that I have that much more time to write my blog.
So that means you're going to pick that game.
I'm going with it.
Oh!
Plus, I like games where it's the only game of the night.
Okay, that's fine. That's true.
Because, I'm really trying to get into the minutia, when how many times do they go into this formation and how many times do they do this?
Okay.
And whether when the clock needs to be bled, are you still throwing the ball?
Okay.
Like certain coaches that I, favor because they're my coach.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to go with the Green Bay, Minnesota game. And
I don't think it's going to be much of a game at all when it comes down to the game.
You think Green Bay's in trouble?
I think
you
they're in
think
trouble.
Minnesota's going to come in there and do the thing.
Yes, I do.
And the question is, can Aaron pull a rabbit out of the hat? That is the question that we will answer and research and look at on the blog. Okay. Bias Plus report for week 16 in the 2019 season. Before we move on to final comments and a quick look at the social media, anything you want to say about the Bias Plus report?
I hope I do better than I did last week, but I say that every week.
Always trying to improve. There's
Always.
nothing wrong with that.
I feel good about my picks, though.
All right. Next up, commentary.